Well, good morning, good afternoon or good evening, whenever you're watching this video really. Welcome to, or welcome back to, my e-bike adventures. So what are we doing today? Well, as you can see behind me, we've got blue skies, so I'm going to make the most of that today. It might be blue skies, but it's still fairly nippy. But what we're going to do today, we're going to go back to the Royal Military Canal, essentially, to a spot where I camped in December. Because on my last video, somebody mentioned about having a stew, etc. for camping. So, after you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.
So after that comment on the video, I thought I would see about making a stew, but what every stew needs is dumplings as well. So, which got me on to thinking about baking while we're out camping. So what I'm intending to do today is we'll set up a fire, and essentially I've made some scone mixture. So today, hopefully, I'm going to be oven baking a couple of scones, which I did my blue Peter thing, and I prepared them earlier. Only the mixture, mind, and I just cut them out. But yeah, we'll when we get there, we'll get everything set up, and hopefully we can have some nice scones. Yeah, it might be nice today, like sky-wise, but this time of year obviously comes with its consequences, because tomorrow's forecast is torrential rain, and we've actually had some milder rain of late, so I'm hoping that this track isn't quite as muddy as it has been in the past. But yeah, it's actually quite warm if you stand still, or if you're just walking mildly. But yeah, riding through into the wind, ooh, can get a bit chilly on the old hands, for sure. Also as well, because of the canal, I've been thinking about thank you. I've been thinking about getting my fishing tackle. Well, somebody said to me on the comments, excuse me, I can't remember names, I'm terrible for things like that, but said, oh, it's a perfect opportunity to go fishing. And yeah, it is actually, it is. Unfortunately for me, about 30 years ago, someone thought it was going to be a good idea. They broke into my garden, which was really not that well accessible, and they stole about £2,500 worth of sea fishing and freshwater fishing equipment. And I'll be honest, I didn't have insurance, and I know, silly me, right? So yeah, unfortunately I kind of I just lost heart in it all, in fishing. But going to the canal a few times now, sitting there, and after a comment about fishing, I was like, yeah, maybe it is time to rekindle that love I had once, because I used to love it. I used to go fishing when I was like 6 years old, you know, all the way up to my 30s probably, or well, mid-20s. And then, yeah, unfortunately, I had all that stolen. So, ooh, it's my favourite. It's mud. Hopefully I can go around the majority of it. Ooh. Yep. Mission successful. The water does seem to hang along here though, on the surface for so long. And it's quite a popular route for people walking their dogs, cyclists like myself, because it's absolutely beautiful along here. And in the summer, well, yeah, absolutely gorgeous. It's been a place that I've loved to come to and escape the harsh reality of life on quite numerous occasions, to be honest, throughout my years living down here in southeast Kent. Oh no! Can I get... yes. I avoided the big puddle. So yeah, I'm thinking next week, because one thing I did find actually while I was digging around, that's not paying attention, went through a load of mud and didn't want to turn because I don't want this bike to go sideways. And I know some of you might be a bit disappointed that I didn't crash. But I'm sure there'll be another one coming at some point. But yeah, anyway, so while I was having a good old search for something last week, I actually found a 12-foot float rod, essentially, that I purchased for a holiday when I went on the Norfolk Broads. Now I remember buying it, and I obviously had a reel and everything else. Those things though, I just can't seem to find anywhere. So I've got a lone rod, which has literally just been used once. So my thoughts are that maybe next week I'm going to take a ride out to Canterbury, the city of Canterbury, and essentially that's where I go to get a lot of my stuff, because they've got a big Go Outdoors store there. So I'm thinking, yeah, next week perhaps we can go over there, take you along for the journey, and go and show you the store and some of the bits that I'm going to get, essentially. But I think it'll be a nice ride. I'm still not sure which route. There's like 3 routes to Canterbury. I don't really want to take the main route, I'll be honest with you, because it's quite a fast road. And yeah, to be honest with you, like fast roads, I mean, they're all well and good, but I always feel a little bit more vulnerable when there's cars doing 60. Well, they should be doing 60, but I'll be honest with you, there's many cars that go along there and they don't. They go way over 60 miles an hour. Because everyone's in a hurry and everyone's above the law. Well, not everyone, but you know. And yeah, I'm not saying that, you know, people are driving unsafely, but you don't have much protection on a bike as you do in a car. So yeah, I'm going to look for maybe some back roads that go there, so that we can have a bit more of a relaxed journey over to the city of Canterbury. And maybe if we've got time, we might even be able to go and explore the city as well. But we'll have to see, because it's quite, there's a lot of elevation changes essentially, so I'm not really sure how the battery is going to fare, but we'll see when we get there. I've got confidence that I can get there and back. It's just how much battery that I'll have for the return journey if we go exploring. But oh, the deep mud. Oh no. Oh. Ha! Saved it. Sideways. Again, some of you will be disappointed. I bet half of you only tune in to see me crash. I probably would. Right, anyway, I'm here at my little spot where I did a stealth camp. A stealth camp. Oh. As you can hear behind me, there's the Port Lim tour going off. Right, let's get this bike. Ooh, hey, that's so steep. I bet it doesn't pick. That's the thing with the GoPro and the Insta360. They don't really pick up on that, on how steep hills are, etc. Absolutely nothing like, you know, when when I look back at the footage sometimes, I'm just like, it doesn't even look like a hill, and I'm like trying to get up it. But yeah. Yeah, so thank you cameras for making it look nothing like what it is. Anyway, I'm here, I'm by the canal. It looks absolutely gorgeous today, so I'm going to turn all these cameras off and get set up. Right, catch you in a bit. Right, so I want to saw this little bit of wood up so that we can use that for the fire. should be about the perfect size for our fire pit, and it'll be logs like this that'll give us a good coals essentially, so that we can cook with. So I'm just going to take another little bit off of here. Lovely, that'll do. Right, one thing I haven't shown you yet. So I've got these natural fire lighters. They're really cheap. They're just wood, essentially, wood shavings, all rolled up into a ball. Now, obviously, these are quite easy to light if you've got a lighter, but in the event that you don't have a lighter, then hopefully I'll be able to show you, although I've not tested this yet, but hopefully we should be able to start this fire with the bushcraft knife that I've got from BSP knives. Highly recommend anyone that's looking for a bushcraft knife. It's definitely a good place to start, and they make some really good knives essentially. Right, so we've got our bushcraft knife and also our ferro rod, and it's this ferro rod that's going to make the flame essentially. So what we're going to do, how this works, you run the base, the spine of the knife 90 degrees across the ferro rod, and as you can see, although I've not used this one yet, so you want to get down close and get some sparks in there, and hopefully there we go, that's got it. Right, let's get some of that. These are just twigs that I found essentially lying on the ground, so we can use these up to get our fire going. Yeah, as I said, we're going to be hopefully baking some scones with our fire pit there. But daytime, so I'm going to make my lunch quite simple. I'm just going to have a super noodle. I've not tried these before. They're like a pot noodle type-esque thing, but yeah, I thought I'd give it a try because it's nice and easy. I just need to boil up some water. And now I could do that on the fire, obviously. I've got a billy can for such purposes, which I could use, but we're not using the billy can for that today. We're going to use the billy can as an oven. So I just brought this with me because it's nice and simple and it's quick to use. Now I've brought an old gas bottle out with me today. There should be enough gas in there. Famous last words. Yeah, there should be enough gas in there to boil some water. To make that, I've got coffee, etc. with me as well that I'm going to have. Right, another thing, I don't know, I've seen a few people have mentioned about buying these that say that they don't come with the feet. The Tacarna, this one, comes with these feet. The Hero, that does not come with these feet. I think it's because essentially the pot is that little bit smaller, so there's less headroom, etc., for the parts to go inside. Also, the Hero doesn't come with this accessory as well, which you can use obviously for a tent heater, frying pan, all sorts of other things. So yeah, just bear that in mind. I think the Hero is about 35, 39, so between 35 and 40, and this one's £70 from Go Outdoors. So yeah, to be honest, I've thought the extra £30. You get about 1.2 litres in this, even though it's a 1 litre pot. You can actually get about 1.2 litres in it, quite safely as well, without it really sort of causing an issue. Well, it's just pouring off water in here for our coffee. And really, oh, this is the it's super simple. I'm sure it is. And I think I've made a big boo-boo. I think I may have only bought I need to find it really. I think I might have only just bought a teaspoon. Oh, you know, I write lists all the time, and oh, they're not helping, are they? Right. Anyway, that's enough for me coffee. Let's just put a little bit more in there, and hopefully that'll be enough. Right, so went out and bought a brand new billy can essentially, because my old one I couldn't find for the love nor money, so essentially I had to buy a new one. The problem with this one is, and it's a bit of a schoolboy error, because what I wanted to use it for is for baking as well. I don't know if you can see these. These are plastic, so that's not conducive to being on a fire. So they do metal ones, so I'm expecting these to not last for our cookery session today, and that's a bit of a schoolboy error, but there are other ways of securing that lid on there anyway. So yeah, if these do come off, then it's not a big problem. But yeah, it's a bit of a schoolboy error really on my part. Our water is boiled. We'll turn that off. And right, I think first things first, we'll pour some water in there for our coffee and get that made. Right, wonderful. Let's give this a quick stir up. It says ready in 4 minutes. So we pour it up to the line, I believe, and stir. Give this another little stir up. Oh, that's much easier. Now that hot water has had time to soak into these noodles. Yeah, these taste like super noodles with a bit of sauce, essentially. And eating with a teaspoon's not so bad after all. But yeah, sitting by this canal definitely gives me that urge to go fishing again. Oh, that reminds me as well, somebody commented on the canal and said that there was tension carp in there. Now, I was under the impression that this canal essentially was filled with pretty much rudd and eels. Eels being in a massive abundance, by the way. That isn't the case, because I've done a bit of research since. But you know, that was what understanding I had of the canal. So yeah, the whoever said that there'll be carp in that canal is absolutely correct. So yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe catching a carp or maybe a tench. So yeah, fishing looks like it could be on the agenda. When I arrived at this spot, there's quite disappointing to see actually. There's a few crisp packets just lying around on the ground, a couple of empty cans. They weren't here when I camped, and it is quite annoying because people should be taking that stuff home with them. Or if not, I mean, there's bins all the way along here. You know, every 200, 300 yards or so, there's a bin. So why leave it here? It just infuriates me, really. And to be honest with you, you know, eventually people doing that, they're just going to spoil it for everybody else. Because the local council will probably get fed up with it, or the landowners, and they'll put signs up, and they'll restrict access along here. And then how many people are going to miss out, you know, on such a beautiful location, you know? It's just a shame, because it weighs nothing. You're going that way home anyway, so you're passing a bin, you know? Stop leaving your rubbish out in the wild, people. I'm not saying that any of my viewers would do such a thing. I'm sure that kind of stuff comes with maturity, for the most part. That's my only problem now. I've come to the I've almost got noodle soup now. Just the last little bit, probably up to there. So bon appetit. Right, I think I'm going to turn that camera off just for now. Have a look at this fire, see where we are, and then see about doing some baking. Although I think I'm going to have a drink of my coffee and just chill and relax for a bit before I do anything else. I think it's scone making time, which is what we've all been waiting for, essentially. Well, I know I have. Right, So let's just pop our board on there, and we'll bring out our billy can. Right, so what we do with this, essentially, we're going to use it like this, like lay this on top of the embers in this configuration. Now, unfortunately, I did order a small grill that will fit in here, so that we can lay our scones on. Unfortunately, it hasn't arrived, so I've cut out a small square of this. We're going to slide that in there, and then we're going to pop our scones on top of this. This is already been just lightly greased at home already. Rather than bring out any butter, I just greased it before I left. And then here are the 2 scones that I prepped at home. So I'm hoping that they're both essentially going to fit on here, although it might be a little bit heavy, which I think it is actually. It's just a little bit too heavy, and unfortunately it's pushing that down. But essentially what you want is you know, something with that's a bit sturdier, that will just sit there like so, inside the can. Such a shame. And I don't think I can put anything underneath that, really. I don't even know if I can get both of them in as well without it being problematic, but we shall see. Right, I'm going to pop our lid on. Smooth that out of the way, and then essentially there we have our oven. Got some nice hot embers there. Ideally you'd want some heat resistant gloves to do this, but that's something on my list of something else to purchase. But right, now I'm not sure how long these will take, but essentially, and as I said, I'm not sure whether these plastic things are going to hold up. There's some other embers that I just pulled out of the fire. Essentially, you kind of want heat all the way around. If possible, we want that heat to transfer, really ideally, as I said, on all sides, for it to be an effective oven. Right, we'll leave that for a few minutes and then come back and open it up again in a minute and see how we are. I think we've had mild success, although they are a little bit on the burnt side, but that's because this was actually touching the bottom. But these are cooked, although a little bit burnt on the bottom. But if that was raised off of the bottom of the can, then that wouldn't be a problem at all. Right. Yep, that's cooked. They are cooked. But yeah, they look gorgeous, to be honest. And if you don't mind the crispy bits, then that's great. Right, there we go. Fresh cooked scones out in the wild. This looks and it tastes absolutely gorgeous. A little bit crispy on the outside, but you know, I like it. I like it. Yeah, so I'm not sure how well that's going to pick up on the camera, but essentially that's the kind of coals I probably should have cooked with, rather than it. I mean, there was still a few flames there, but again, daylight hours were evading us, and I kind of wanted to make sure that we had enough daylight. It was probably hampered by the fact that the tray hit the bottom of the billy can, so I will get better results essentially when I get the tray when that arrives. So but we'll do something else, maybe some sort of pizza on a sort of small French stick or something that we can utilize the billy can for as well. Right, well that about wraps it up again for another video. Well, almost. I'll probably film some of my ride home as well, and you can see some of that. But yeah, it wasn't the the best outcome with the scones, but as I said, you know, many a time now, that aluminium foil just wasn't rigid enough, so it touched the bottom, and essentially that's kind of what led to the bottoms being burnt the way they were. But if you just took the top off and you discard the bottom bit, they actually tasted really nice. They were really nice, actually. Thoroughly enjoyed them, and I had them when they were still that little bit tiny bit warm as well, so it gave them allowed enough time for them to cook through fully, you know. So yeah, but it, you know, yeah, I'm just thinking, yeah, come follow me for some more useless cooking tips. But no, in all seriousness, we'll do some others, and yeah, perhaps if you're going to use a billy can for an oven, then don't use aluminium foil, especially with something heavy like a scone mix. It's just not going to work. Anyway, as always, this daylight stuff is evading me fast, so I kind of need to pack down and hightail it out of here. But as always, if you like this kind of content, then hit that like and subscribe button, and hit the bell notification to get notified when I upload a video, basically every Monday morning at 6 AM. But you can watch it anytime you like. But yeah, you know, thanks again for coming along for the ride. Wow, 130 something subscribers already. Honestly, I'm really stoked, and I'm really happy that some of you have come along and chosen to come along for the ride with me. Yeah, it's really quite inspiring, really.
So yeah, I'd like to, you know, whether you subscribe, whether you just come along and watch the videos, you know, thank you honestly from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. I do really appreciate, you know, every single one, all the comments as well. You know, thankfully the channel's quite small, so I do get around to answering all the questions. But obviously if it does grow, then I will always endeavour to do my best. But yeah, anyway, enough of you be yabbering. I've got to get on, crack on, and pack away this stuff and hightail it out of here. But yeah, thanks again. Catch you soon. Right, well, essentially I'm all packed up now, ready to go. Leave no trace, absolutely no trace of me being here. In fact, I've even picked up a few bits and pieces of crap other people have left behind. Anyway, my back camera is fine, except my SD card's full, so I can't record it on the way home, essentially. Right, just gonna walk the bike out. And then, yeah, I don't know if I'll include this. Part of the journey in the video. All that mud slippery going up that bank. I'm glad I walked it out. Oh, rightio then. Let's hit the road. You know, another thing as well that's immediately apparent, for me anyway, my backpack feels massively lighter already. Oh, let's avoid this mud. We're not going to avoid it all. Have to go through that. Mud. Love it. Anyway, enough of the silly voices. Yeah, I'd say my backpack weighs about 2 kilos at the moment, and I would have said, without weighing it, it was about 4.5 kilos when I came out. Essentially, I picked up an e-bike battery and then picked up my bag, and they were very, very close. So yeah, I'm guessing that was about 4.5 kilos on my back, and I'd say that's halved at the moment. So yeah, the things I've eaten, the water for one, obviously that weighs quite a bit. But yeah, makes it makes the journey home much more bearable. Right, I'm thinking as well, oh, it's going to be so nice when the spring comes, because all these dead trees, you know, they're all going to come alive well, not the dead ones, but you know, the non-evergreens. That's all going to come alive, and it's going to be such a beautiful colour coming through here. Oh, we got a car coming down here. Must be council officials, because there's no other way for a car to get access along here, essentially. Is he moving? Or is he... Must be something to do with either the council or the or Port Lympne Zoo, because I know they can get access along here. But yeah, that's a first. I've never seen that before. Oh, it's quite cold though. That wind's bitter.